the education of women. There is one thing for which we should all be thankful. Today, we are not required to prove that girls should be educated like boys. That valuable work was done by the great pioneers of the 19th century by Ramon Roy, Ishchandra Vidyasagar, Ranare Behramji Malawari, and a host of other far-seeing builders of our nation. As a result of their pioneering efforts, today in most families where education is imparted to boys, it is being imparted to the girls as well. Out of evil commit good, and out of the hateful and vicious dowry system has come the spread of education among girls of the middle class families, parents of girls who are unable to scrape together funds to meet the demand of a daughter's dowry and find it easier to educate their daughters. But the most does not mean that we can afford to be complacent. The spirit of blind orthodoxy is not yet dead, and old ways of thought often create confusion in dealing with these problems. We have to keep ourselves wide awake and judge the entire problem from a purely rational and utilitarian standpoint. The problems posed by the orthodox must be faced and disposed of. First, there is the problem, should girls have the same type of education as boys? It is a difficult question but not unanswerable. There is no harm in giving them the same education, for one of the priceless benefits of education is to liberalize the mind. Perhaps in our society, hide bound with prejudices as it is, the liberalization of the feminine mind is even more desirable, while we do not forget that girls will be the guardians of home life, the mothers of the future generations. We do not believe that a woman has no other life than rearing a family. Back to the kitchen is as meaningless as a cry as back to the village. We should never say go back because time never goes back. Always our cry should be go forward and onward. But of course, we must have a clear idea about the goal and that we have in view, since the end of a general education is to liberalize the mind, and education that does it for boys will also do it for girls as well. Restrictions of women within a narrow sphere of duties make them narrow minded, and petty things can never be meaningfully helpful, mentally helpful. Further, in the hard struggle for existence, few middle class families can be comfortable on the income of a single individual. More and more, more and more wives are seeking to add to the family income. Our constitution also is clear on the issue of equal opportunities for men and women. Hence, we should throw the gates of education wide open for all alike. A second question often posed is, should girls be educated in the same school as boys? In a poor country like ours, the question is partially answered by economic circumstances. In the primary stages, at least upon a certain age, they should have to be so educated. Afterward, much depends on circumstances. Where there is want of separate schools and colleges for girls, or where an institution meant for boys has plenty of accommodation, it is in the interest of national economy to permit co-education. If public opinion is against it, it should be properly trained to take a rational and healthy attitude. Thus, the uplift of the society depends on the harmonious development of all its constituent elements. Man's progress depends on the women's and is part of it. The women's cause is man's, says the poet. They rise or fall together, whether they are to be godlike and free or slaves, depend in a large measure on the ability to go hand in hand. This is the central truth of the matter. Therefore, let us educate our women as we educate our men. Let us light up their intelligence with knowledge. Out of that will come nothing but good. For in our modern complex social organization, only educated can adjust themselves to their duties and obligations, and in a complicated pattern of life, without education, social and economic emancipation of women is impossible. Women have been admitted to the same social and political rights as men. These rights can be freely exercised only when women are educated and if and enjoy, if not actual, at least potential economic independence. Education should give them the prospect of economic independence. Of course, to liberalize the mind by education has some consequences. In a conservative society, this may create trouble, for liberal education creates a demand for rational thought, which is a fundamental opposed to all narrowness, bigotry, and orthodoxy. Therefore, conservative Indians look upon freedom for women with suspicion. Men demand political freedom, yet they like to be tyrants at home, and are afraid when they see their masculine authority challenged by the creation so many girls graduate. But a little thinking will show that the fault is not with education but with themselves. Let them liberalize their conservative minds and believe that freedom is nothing but good. Then when they see educated women trying to take their place in social and political life, they will not be unhappy. Rather, they will be glad that it should be so. Women's education is also opposed on the ground that educated women will compete with men for jobs, and that will create a grave crisis in the realm of employment. A society is not worth much if it is afraid of educating half its member on the score of scarcity of employment. As time goes on, the national economy must expand and opportunities of employment must increase, and the battle of the sexes on the employment market should lose much of its present fears. Thank you.